What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey, man. This your host, Trey. That's my homeboy, Face.
What up, world?
And we finna give it to you real live, uncut, and blood raw, man. There is no way around the facts that we finna give you throughout this segment, okay? Because we are talking about the AFC West, all right? And when you're talking about the AFC
West
West, you are
Side.
exactly keeping it West West, baby. You feel me? All my homies out in Cali, y'all already know what it is. But dog, we talking about the best division of quarterbacks in the NFL, to be honest with you. Okay. Like you got future Hall of Famer Russell Wilson over there. You got Justin Herbert, which to me, we're gonna talk about in a little bit. I'm gonna let you know what I really feel about the boy. You know what I mean? We got Patty Mahomes, also known as the Magic Man, the Magic Johnson of the NFL. Okay. And then we got Jimmy G. So, I mean, three of those quarterbacks is possible future Hall of Famers. I'm really not going to put that on Justin Herbert yet, but Russell Wilson definitely going to the Hall of Fame. Patty Mahomes definitely going to the Hall of Fame.
Already.
Like I just recently visited Canton, okay, and the Hall of Fame, which I'm going to post the bust picture that I took for or not the bust pictures. He's not a bust yet, but he does have like a whole shrine dedicated to Patrick Mahomes. So I'm gonna post some of that as the thumbnail for this. So you hope you guys can enjoy the memory that I got to take in with my kids. It was beautiful. But I digress, man. Let's get back to what we talking about. We talking about the AFC West. We talking about the best of the best. And so we're gonna go ahead and start it off like this. Bottom of the barrel, Jimmy G. So Jimmy G has just switched teams. Okay. He just came from the 49ers over to the Las Vegas Raiders. Man, last
That's how
season
you
was
know it.
horrible.
That's how you
last
know it
season,
ain't nothing.
last couple of years been bad for Jimmy G, man. Jimmy G stayed hurt, dog. Last year, Jimmy G had 2,437 yards, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, a QBR of 54.3 with a completion rate of 67%, man. Like, it ain't look good for Jimmy G in a while,
You
dog.
you could tell how far he landed. He ain't really no good. Look right around. they
Bro,
ain't
hold up.
they ain't
It
want
get,
to buy him a bus ticket. They
bro, it
ain't
get
want to buy
worse.
that bum a bus ticket.
It
They
get
put him on
worse.
a bus.
Let me put you up on game. He can't pass a physical. He's taken two physicals since he's arrived over there in Vegas, and he has not passed a physical yet. He has not been able to practice with the team. He has not been able to be in contact drills, non-contact drills, running around, throwing the ball. He can't do nothing. Nothing. All right. We talking about a player who, at one point in time, people were talking about in the same breath as the great, the GOAT.
Now Montana.
No, man, Montana, the GOAT. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the single GOAT. Single GOAT means you have losses. So that means you Tom Brady. Joe
Okay.
Montana, GOAT of all GOATs. Like, there's no getting around that. You undefeated. You gut them when you get to the Super Bowl. You don't play with them. Tom Brady won a lot of Super Bowls by field goals until he got to Tampa, but we'll get away from that, man. Back to your boy Jimmy G. They did mention him in the breath of Tom Brady. What you think, Face? Like, is he really going to be able to uplift this franchise out of the cellars, out of the gutters? We talking about a two-win team. What I'm looking at, like people project 5 wins, but I'm saying like maybe two or three.
3. Jimmy G is not the answer. Let's just be clear. He is not the answer. Nowhere. I'm just the
Just
proof is
trying to
in the
keep.
pudding. Man. He can't stay healthy. How you gonna help somebody be can't? The number one thing is availability. You
Yeah.
have to be available to even make a difference.
Yes, sir.
So I don't see Jimmy being a long term or a short term fit for nobody's team until he can stay healthy. Right now, I wouldn't even trade it for him, or I wouldn't even have him on my roster.
Well, right now the Raiders do. And their backup
They
quarterback
they
is
they,
Brian Hoyer. The only
they were
reason I'm bringing
desperate.
up Brian Hoyer is because of the fact that Jimmy G ain't even healthy yet. Okay? So that means we
Raiders
talking
were
about,
desperate. That was a
yeah,
desperation move.
that was super desperate. Okay, because
So I can understand it.
last year Brian Hoyer passed for 702 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He got sacked 8 times. Is that what you want to pin your franchise on? Is this where Vegas wants to bet? Because last time I checked, man, Vegas knows the odds, and Vegas knows how to bet. And a team like the Raiders really doesn't represent Vegas like that,
I
man.
just
When
I
you
just I, I just think they're trying to make it through the year. I think they just need a good band-aid until they could get to the next draft or get another valuable quarterback. I'm just being honest because David Carr kind of like throwing a monkey wrench in what they were trying to do out there.
no,
Because they felt
they
like
ain't threw a monkey wrench. They wanted to get rid of David Carr. That wasn't. That's the head coach. I'm the name not to be spoken. All right, Mr. Yeah, Mr. McDaniel. If you didn't know it. All right. I mean, I said name not to be spoken. But I got to give it to you raw, just like we always do. And Mr. McDaniel was a bum when he was with the Broncos, and he was the coach there. He drafted Tim Tebow.
yeah.
Okay, we're not talking about a
Hey,
great head coach here. We're talking about a
hey,
good offensive coordinator, not even a great offensive coordinator who needed to be reeled in constantly by Bill Belichick and by Tom Brady in order to be successful. I'm just saying, y'all. So when you got projections like what I'm looking at right now, man. Okay, so I'm looking at the board, right? Mike Clay says, and this is ESPN analyst. He says that projections for Jimmy G is 3,885 yards, 19 touchdowns, with 13 interceptions, getting sacked 34 times. So you really believe he's gonna play the whole series? Man, come on, man. This man ain't even gonna play all season. Really and truly, the Raiders, I hate to say it because my mother-in-law is a Raider fan. But man, y'all DEAD, man. Y'all DOA on arrival. It is what it is. What you say, Face?
my brother a Raider fan. He know they did this year. Y'all have to be playing for the future. It's simple and plain. You got to have a good quarterback in the league. That's why Jimmy G done got another chance at all because it's not a bunch of good quarterbacks already out there.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a quarterback that could perform, you're gonna be at the bottom of your division. As long as you got guys like Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert in your division, how do you expect to get to the playoffs? You got to beat these dudes twice without a quarterback. I don't see it happening. The quarterback position is too important. It's
Especially
too
when they
important.
especially when they sitting there saying that you are the 22nd ranked quarterback in the NFL, all right, fantasy wise, and you only worth about 219 points. Now, injury was your issue in the past, and injury is your issue right now.
And it's going to
Like
continue to be.
it I'm sorry, man. Look, I got love for the Raiders because of the fact that we beat them down so bad in the Super Bowl. Okay, that they have not recovered in 22 years. So I want them to be better. I want them to be successful. I want them to make the right decisions. But right now, it's tank season, man. So since it's tank season, no more time on the Raiders, man. Let's get on to the next one, man. So the next quarterback that we finna bring up, third ranked quarterback in the AFC Mighty West, Russell Wilson. We talking about a quarterback who done last year he had his hangups, he had his issues, he had his problems. And was that because he had a bum head coach who was trying to call plays and Mike LaFleur? Was it because he really wasn't getting any protection? The man got sacked 55 times last year. 5'5". Yes, double nickel. We talking about Derek Brooks numbers. Okay. He threw for 3,524 yards, 16 touchdowns. Does that even sound right? 11 interceptions. Does that even sound right? Like,
Yeah, you got sacked
th-
55 times.
there's a lot of issues with
You know
what's
how many
going
pass
on.
attempts that is?
Face man, what say you, man? What say you
God
about the numbers, man? What say you? How
damn,
you feel about
55 sacks is what I keep hearing.
it? Dog, 55?
55 sacks.
When I listen, man, just so that everyone understands, okay, I put a lot of time into trying to get to the numbers and to the stats, analytics of understanding this game. I love football. Okay, football is in my family. It's like a lifeblood type thing. You feel me? We love the game. All right, and it's part of tradition as far as the love for the game. So when I do the take the time to study this game, it's because of my passion and because of my love for the game. And when I find numbers like 55 sacks, those are numbers that you don't see that often. That's
Do you
something
have an
like
offensive line? I
yeah,
want to ask you that.
exactly. Are you out there
Do
by
you have an
yourself?
offensive
Is there
line?
actually anyone blocking for you? Are we playing where you got one center and then you don't have no offensive lineman and everybody else is going out and he hikes the ball and you like run around, throw the ball a little bit because he got 3,000 yards. So it's not like he didn't do what he was supposed to do. There was years Michael Vick didn't
Yeah,
get to 3,000.
that's what I was gonna say. The numbers really, I can't even say they reflect on Russ. That's just a team. That's something going on with the team. You know what I
Mm.
mean? The Broncos offensive line, their receivers got to get better. But you could tell just by the fact that the quarterback getting hit 55 times, sacked 55 times.
Sack. If he
You,
got
you know
sacked
they got
55, how many
that's
times you
offensive
think he
line
got hit?
trouble. That's offensive line trouble. You know there's a hole in his old line somewhere. Maybe three of them. You got to pass that boat up fast. you going down on every time you hit the water. You going down.
Yeah, low, man. Every time, dog. Every time that ball, that skin hit your hand, man, you finna hit the land. It is what it
Yeah.
is, dog. It is
If
what it
I was
is.
no O line, my O line wouldn't get shit. I mean, excuse me, my O line. You know how they about the O
Hey, no,
line?
look, you gotta keep it 100 sometimes, and I understand. I
Yeah.
understand, Faith.
Hey,
Like
but you know
Barry Sanders used to buy his O line stuff. Troy Aikman used to buy his O line stuff. When
that
your O line
everybody do.
protected, you
When they
do good
protect
for him.
you,
But
when they protect you, that's your health. You
boy,
protecting my health. I'm gonna go out for you. I'm gonna go and buy you. Man, if you got, hey, I'll fuck around and put some money on your head.
yeah, facts, dog. Facts. For real, man. Like I said,
you
every
trying to
time
get
the
you
skin hit
trying to
my
get me
hand, I hit
killed?
the land. That y'all
You
dead,
trying to
man.
get me killed? You trying to get
Y'all
me killed?
dead, man. I'm gonna put you under, dog. 6 feet, maybe 36 if we do it
put
six
put a
times.
tag on the head, get rid of. Put a tag on the
Fact,
head, get
bro.
rid of.
Fact.
I need somebody gonna block for me, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got to
So
be on the same
ho-
team. We can't be
hopefully, hopefully they'll patch that up though, man. I ain't gonna. We can't put that on Russ, man.
No, I'm
Russ,
not.
one thing we know about Russ, he is a competitor. He pretty steady. I trust him with my offense just based on the way he performs. Even when a lot of times when he was in Seattle, he ain't had that much. He always seemed to take them to a point where they was always respected.
Bro,
So
he got Sean Payton now. He
that's
got Drew
that's a
Brees,
big
old
difference.
head coach, man. If y'all don't understand who Sean Payton is the architect of the
Off,
Saints offense. Okay. Back
offensive
when
genius.
the offensive genius, he's a maniac, he's a beast, he's a gangster. He's gonna get
You
it
know,
done. He's gonna put in
he's a
the
great.
hours, the time with the people, and he's gonna make sure that his offense is the most efficient offense y'all have seen in a long time
And,
since
and you know
Shanahan
how
was there.
serious. And you know how
Just
serious
saying.
he is when the Saints when it got Jameis Winston. You see what he did?
Oh yeah,
He
he
got
turned
out the way.
James. He showed you. No, no, no. Hold up
He
now.
he,
Hold
he
up.
got out the way.
Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. He got out of the way, but he turned Jameis's what people view Jameis as around. Jameis got hurt. If Jameis wouldn't have got hurt, remember they were 4-1 when Jameis got hurt, and then they went started going down because they got to go to Taysom Hill. You know what I mean? That's why Sean Payton started losing. That's why Sean Payton left because Jameis Winston hurt his back. Notice Jameis Winston did not play much last season. Want to know why? Because he's got sublations in his back. I got sublations in my back. I'ma tell you straight up. Football is not the game you want to be playing, tackle football or a contact sport on a consistent basis, because even what I do is crazy with the sublations that I have in my back. All right. And Jameis, he already ran like a newborn giraffe. So at least I'm an athlete. He made it to the NFL, but I consider myself a little more athletic than Jameis when it comes to moving around and getting from one side to the next. I can't. I'm not 6'4", 6'5". I can't sling the rock. I am 5'10". All right. So the most I've ever weighed is 240 pounds. Okay, and the least I've ever weighed as an adult was 190. All right, so yeah, I'm an athletic individual, but I've also had 3 surgeries on my knee and all types of foolishness. I ain't comparing me to Jameis, but I'm letting you know that he run like a newborn giraffe. It just is what it is. Everybody see it. Okay. And when Jameis got hurt his back, okay, and acquired the first 3 sublations that he has in his back, because he has multiple, just like I do, okay, he 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 had to succumb to that, man. That's a pain that most people have never felt. Like you can't even lay in a bed sometimes, and you might have to go sleep on the floor a lot of times. All right. Remember, he just had the kid. There's a lot going on, but I give a lot of credit to Sean Payton because he did a lot for Jameis, and I honestly believe that Sean Payton mixed with Russell Wilson, with Jared Judy, and we're not even gonna Cortland Sutton, who showed up to mini camp Diesel this year, looking great, leading other wide receivers. And I'm not gonna get into the rest of the offense because we're gonna save that for when we cover the weapons. I think they could be dangerous, even with them projecting the numbers that I just spouted to you. Okay, with Russell Wilson coming out getting 387 yards this year. Okay, 24 touchdowns, getting sacked 45 times. Yeah, that's still a big number, and throwing 11 interceptions. The only thing that can hold Russ back, man, is lack of understanding concept. But what say you? How you feel about that, Faith?
Only thing hold Russ back is Russ. Russ know what it take to win. Russ, he got that competitive spirit. I believe that if he got players around him that he can make better, he gonna do it. You know what I mean? I done seen him do it in Seattle. You feel what I'm saying? It ain't like he had one team for a long time. He was changing pieces, but he always been pretty consistent in what he does. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, I don't know if his age will catch up with him as far as being a mobile quarterback. That's a big part of his game. Russ know how to use his legs, but it ain't the only thing that he could do. So with them receivers that you saying, if they show up, I feel like they'll be all right. You know what I mean? They already had the defense. Their defense biting.
Oh yeah. Hey,
The
no, that
defense
defense
biting. So
bite. That
you
defense is
know,
championship defense. That defense can do something, but it's all predicated off of what Sean Payton can do with the offense. That's why I
yeah.
really
Hey,
think they
that.
a threat this year, but I don't want to
But
give
guess
it to
what?
you yet.
Guess what? You got an A. You got an A+ as the head coach, and I say a B+ as a quarterback. Might be an A-, B+.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So with those two factoring, I feel like they should be all right. The offense should be all right.
Well, Mike Clay is putting Russell Wilson in the middle of the pack at 12. He's the 12th ranked quarterback in fantasy, and he's projected for 276 points. So that's not bad. You know what I mean?
Now
You
that
can
ain't
work with
bad.
that. That ain't no like early round pick, but that's the backup.
Ain't no spring
You can do
chicken.
a lot. No, he ain't man. Look, man, we all ages. You know what I
That's what
mean?
I'm
You can.
saying. So guess what? He got to understand that his understanding gonna be better, but at the same time, Russ is at a point in his career where it could go either way. It depends on how his body hold up. If his body hold up, hey, you already know what you're gonna get with him.
Man, Faith, right here, I want to talk to you about, in my opinion, one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL. And I'm only saying he's one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL because he hasn't lived up to the standard that people have set for him. This young man has only made the playoffs one time. This young man, okay, has been surrounded by weapons since he got to the team. And now the team is at a point to where they're gonna have to pay him and they're not gonna be able to keep paying other people. Okay, we're talking about a team that went and got Khalil Mack on a whim. Said, let's go spend that. We talking about a team that already got the other Bosa brother. We talking about a team that got multiple wide receivers. Where you talking about Palmer, or you talking about Mike Williams, or you talking about my man number 8 Trey. We ain't even gonna say his name. You know what I'm saying? Like they had Hunter Henry at one point. Like there's a lot this team has had. They got Austin Eckler. Okay, and the only quarterback I could be talking about right now is the one and only Oregon Duck, Justin Herbert. Okay, we're talking about intellect and not outward leadership. Okay, he is an introvert, is what I call him, because he's got all the talent in the world. He's got the ability, the skills. Last year, he threw for 4,734 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10
Hey,
interceptions. He did all that. Bro, hold up.
hey,
He did all that. Okay. All of that with a punctured lung. Okay.
hey,
Punctured
he got one
lung
problem.
and broken ribs. Okay,
He,
the young man's a beast. He got sacked. He threw for a quarterback rating of 93.2, completion of 68%. We like he's a dog, but he can't
he got
lead
one
nobody
problem.
yet.
He got one problem, man.
What is that, Face?
Patty Holmes, Patrick Mahomes. You got to think about it. Who been in the Super Bowl the last few years, back to
Bruh,
back? Who been winning
bruh.
it?
He
You
got a
just
better defense than Patrick Mahomes.
you.
He got
It
he
ain't.
better he keep a better running game. He got more wide receivers. Tyreek Hill been gone. He like you can't blame it all on Patty, man. You can't blame it on the Magic Man.
Until
Just because
somebody,
the just
until
because you in
somebody
the
beat him.
division with hold up, bro. So you telling me right now, homie? Okay, let's go back and I'm across sports right now
I'm,
because
I'm, I'm.
I compare Patrick Mahomes to Magic Johnson. Just the way he plays, the unselfishness, the ability to do things on the
Improvise.
field and improvise. I've never seen, so I compare him to him, right?
But
And
what I say,
so what
what I mean is, what I mean is this: the way that he's been playing the few years, you know what I'm saying, since he's been in the league, it's been hard to beat him. So that's Justin Herbert
man, you
only.
only play him twice. What's happening the
Yeah,
rest of the season? Why you can't make the wild card? Why you can't make the wild card? How you got Austin Eckler and you can't make the wild card? How
hey,
you got
I
eight
mean,
Trey and you can't make the wild card? How you got Mike Williams you can't make the wild card? Jarius Jackson when you drafted another running back, you can't make the wild card. Like
they should be way better than they are.
you gotta, you got
They should be way
Bosa,
better than they are.
you
They
got
should be
Bosa,
battling. They should be
you got
battling.
Khalil Mack. Make it make sense to me, Faith.
They should be battling Patrick Mahomes every year then for the division. If they got all those weapons, they should be in the division going through Kansas City every year then. Because if
Well,
they got all,
Kansas City has one advantage. One.
but
And that's Andy Reid versus their previous head coach. Now, the difference between this year and the previous years is now the Chargers went and got Kellen Moore from the Dallas Cowboys. He is now the offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers. Okay, so that is why you have the projections Mike Clay is making this year with him throwing for Justin Herbert, just so you know who him is, throwing for 4,307 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. ranked the eighth best quarterback in fantasy with 296 points that he could possibly acquire or be responsible for. So when you're talking about Justin Herbert, you're talking about someone who could be deadly in Kellen Moore's system. But if we all remember Kellen Moore in Dallas, Kellen Moore got away from the run game a lot of times. And when it would be more efficient to rely on the running game. I'm not gonna say it's the same thing here in LA, but man, we talking about. I mean, I'm not saying he's Byron Leftwich and running the ball 6 times in a game, or 4 times
But
in a game, but
it's a pass friendly league though, so that's why
but
they get away from the run
what
so
happened to
much.
what happened to that team right there when they was pass friendly? That team when they ran the ball 6 times in a game and 4 times in a game and set an NFL record for the least amount of rushes in the NFL game with with the second greatest quarterback in history, with two of the best wide receivers in the league. Okay, how does that happen? How do you lose like by 41 and things like that? How does that happen? I'll tell you how it happens. You get
You
away from
don't
the
trust
run.
the running game.
It don't matter if you trust it. You got to do it. Some things in life you got to do even if you don't trust it because you got to show faith and walk in faith. And even if it ain't working, you got to keep doing it because everything in a life happens through attrition. And you got to be able to and be willing to go through the attrition and go through all of the slog and all of the pain and all of the stuff you don't want to do in order to get to the situation you're trying to get to. Okay. And when we talk about the game of football, that means you got to run the ball. You got to run the ball. You got to
You're
run the
gonna have a
ball.
balance there. But
And I believe,
when you get down though, it's hard to run and try to
man, we
unless you
talking
got
about,
enough time.
brother, when I pointed that flag back there, and like, I'm not talking about games. There was one game where they got down so far, but we
No, I'm
talking
just
about
saying any
multiple
team.
games. Any team that gets away from the running game, okay, any team that gets away from the running game and does not put their stock in controlling the time of possession. Okay, because you can score all you want. Look what the Bills did. Bills Chiefs 2 years ago, slugfest. They going at it. Okay, they going at it, and then in overtime, Magic Man wins. Now it didn't matter how many points Buffalo put up; they couldn't stop the Magic Man. You feel me? Like it is imperative that you have to be able to control the time of possession. They couldn't run the ball. Buffalo can't run the ball. If you have not watched the AFC East quarterbacks, and when I spoke about that, man, I'm gonna cover the weapons soon. Okay, please go back, watch it. I'm gonna let y'all know. Okay, I'll tell you what's going on over there in Buffalo. But Face, man, I like Justin Herbert. I really do. I think he has
I
an
like it.
opportunity to be a great quarterback. But man, he has underperformed and underwhelmed since he's been in the NFL, man. You can't make the playoffs one time. And everybody been comparing you to Peyton Manning and all this other stuff, man. It just does not add up. They were putting
You
you
better
over Jalen Hurts.
nah, hell nah.
Yeah, they putting him over Jalen Hurts. They talk about him like that right now. Right now, they say he like top four. Top four.
Well,
How you top
you know
four?
how
You ain't even played in the Super Bowl. How you top four?
you know how that go.
Yeah, we know how it is, but at the same time, we got to speak on it to be able to be honest and transparent. And
They
so
always they always put white quarterbacks over black quarterbacks. They feel like white quarterbacks are smarter than black quarterbacks, so they don't put as much stock into. And it's just that's just how it is. You know what I mean? Because
it's
you
been
have to
like
be
that for a
sure
long time. It's been
it's
like
gonna
that for
be
a
like
long
that.
time, man. It's gonna be like that. You're right. It's been like that for a long time. It's gonna be like that. And people gotta, I don't know.
Just like you
The
said,
only way, the
I
only way,
could say I could say a quarterback like Justin Herbert who underperformed. far as the hype that he's got to a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, who's overperforming and doing more than anybody ever expected him to do. Nobody, and then the dude can flat out play. I'm not saying this because he's a black quarterback. I'm not making
Heck
that statement,
no.
but I'm
Look,
stating facts. This
listen,
man
man.
has played better. This man team has done better than. So how could you even put that man over Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts surprised me. I swear, he
Look, I
surprised
didn't
me
believe in him. I didn't
because
believe he was going to
guess
become what
what?
he
The
became,
dude can throw, he can
and he
run,
can throw now.
and guess what? He makes great decisions.
Yes, and
He
that's what it's
makes
all
great
about.
decisions.
And he's a leader. He's a
Yep.
leader. The boy is a leader,
So I
man. The
could I could
man. I'm
never say
sorry. The
I
man
could
is a
never
leader.
put I could never put Justin Herbert over Jalen Hurts.
Well,
Now
uh,
before I seen him play, if you would have just asked me, I'd have said yeah. I'd have probably said Justin. Until I seen this man play in the way that he playing in the NFL, you can't put him over him. But
man.
Justin Herbert.
Man, listen, man. Like just, and I hate to go, off the cuff to you guys right now, but I have to do it right now. So earlier today, I'm listening to you name the pundit, okay, and it could be ESPN, it could be FS1, it could be whoever you want it to be, okay. But when they spoke about Justin Herbert, they spoke about him as if he was the third best quarterback, and it's between Burrow and Josh Allen and him as far as who's falling behind Patrick Mahomes. Okay. That's why I made the statements I just made. Okay. That's why Face made the statements he just made. All right. Now, if you look at Mike Clay and what Mike Clay says from ESPN, Mike Clay says that Hurts is the third best quarterback in the NFL as far as fantasy wise. Do I believe that? Well, yesterday I told you Burrow was number two. So obviously I do. Okay. Everything always falls in line to exactly what it should be. But the perception that people have needs to kind of change. People need to open their eyes and understand when they're seeing good ball and take everything else out of it. Take everything else out of it. Justin Herbert has a possibility of eventually being a great quarterback. He has all of the intangibles. He's intelligent, okay? He breaks down the defense well. He knows how to read the defense well. He knows how to make all the calls. The man had a doctorate in marine biology before he left Oregon. Okay, uh, he he came in game one, was not expected to even play when Tyrod Taylor got his lung punctured by the doctor up there for the Chargers when they were still in San Diego, and he balled. Okay, like he is a player, but man, let's let him walk the path and walk the walk first before we christen him or we crown him the heir apparent or the challenger to one Magic Man, Patty Mahomes, that we just about to talk about. Now, before we get into that face, are we in 100% agreement on this, or is there anything else you want to expound about or expound upon when speaking about a one Justin Herbert?
No, like I say, he just got to play, and hopefully he'll live up to the hype. If not, just play to your full potential and see how it turn out. You know what I mean? Because when you get compared to other people, people always lose focus on your ability. They're gonna
Hmm.
try to compare you to this person and that person. You got to do Justin Herbert the best you can do Justin Herbert, and then the numbers at the end, then we could be able to come back and talk about who was the greatest and all that. Because right now, these dudes just trying to forge their path and build a legacy. So at the end of the day, right now, Taylor Hurts a better quarterback. But we're not. Who's to tell 3, 4 years down the line who's gonna be leading that pack? Because guess what?
Exactly.
People like Jalen Hurts, receiver, anybody get hurt. It ain't no telling. So we just gonna see how that shit turn out. But right now, you can't say he's better than Jalen Hurts. I
Nah.
won't even let you do that. You know what I mean? So
Hmm. Hey, man. When you're right, you're right. When you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'm gonna tell you every time, man. So now we get to who, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in the NFL. Been the best quarterback in the NFL for now 2 years. This young man came out of Texas Tech. When he came out of Texas Tech, I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw the accuracy. I saw all the yards he was throwing for and all that. I saw how he could run around, but I didn't think he was gonna fit in the NFL offense. Then he got paired up with Andy Reid. Honestly, one of the greatest offensive minds of my lifetime. And I've seen George Seifert, I've seen Bill Walsh, I've seen, I've seen, you know what I mean? And not to date myself, but I've seen some of the greatest minds in NFL history and college football. And when he got paired up with Andy Reid, this was a match made in heaven. This is a toy that Andy Reid never had when he was the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, when he had Donovan McNabb. This is someone with a cannon that didn't mind to go off script, that could read defenses, could understand his limitations as well as the limitations of the players he played with. This is quite possibly, could eventually be the GOAT. He's a GOAT, but he could eventually be the. And just to be doing what this young man has done in his career. Last year, he threw for 5,250 yards. Get your mind right, man. Five bands, 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, QBR 105.2 with a completion rating of 67%, man. Like, I don't even need to say no more about that, man. What held him back last year was new targets, man. What's gonna hold him back this year? How you feel, Face? I like.
I just feel like Andy Reid was a perfect fit for him because Andy Reid know how to allow, like, he'll face off what you can do, and he's just gonna enhance what you can do. He knows, like you say, he knows certain players, they limitations, but he just allows them to play free. And you can't teach certain things. The shit the man do, you can't teach this. This ain't being
Nah,
taught by no coach. But
nah.
Andy Reid is a good coach because guess what? He's an offensive minded coach and he allows him to play free within the offense. And you see how that's working out. If a quarterback is having fun and like you say, allowed to be him, and he's not. You can tell by the touchdown and interception ratio, he makes great decisions. As long as you got your quarterback making these type of decisions, it's okay to trust him. So they
Bro, we
got to
talking
trust.
about 41 touchdowns,
We
12
done seen,
interceptions,
we done seen a couple quarterbacks
26.
throw for
He
more
only got
touchdowns.
sacked 26 times.
Yeah,
Remember, we just
that's
got
what
done talking about a quarterback that got sacked 55
55.
times.
But you know what? That's what it's going to show you. That's the decision making because he know when to
Hello.
get rid of the ball. He he don't just get rid of it in time and throw interceptions. Sometimes people that's how they throw interceptions trying to get rid of the ball. But he makes great decisions because it shows in his numbers. If not, you'd have had at least 20. Every other quarterback that you done named, the quarterback uh touchdown and interception ratio, they so close. 21 touchdowns and
11,
19 interceptions.
13, 19,
Yeah,
16, and
stuff like that.
4. Got like
But this,
it's a lot we looking at right now, brother.
But this man got
Look,
41 with 12 interceptions. You know what I mean?
yes, sir.
Not taking that many sacks, man. You know, he like to run around. So a few of those sacks, I'm pretty sure was on him. It wasn't
Man,
his. So
man, we talk about a man who ran for 400 yards in in the Super Bowl in one game.
yeah,
One game, brother. One
that's how.
game.
You, that's another way. That's another way to stop him getting sacked. Run it. As long as you get positive yards, it ain't a sack. But
Yes,
that's
sir.
again, that's good decision making, knowing when to go with the ball, knowing where to go with the ball. You know what I mean? Because you got to think about it. He lost some weapons himself, and it
Well, he
didn't
lost a
slow him down.
lot. He lost
Yeah,
Tyreek
it
Hill
didn't
last
slow him
year,
down
who
at
almost
all.
accounted for 2,000 yards as a wide, just receiving yards last year as a Miami Dolphin. So he gave up and lost a lot. And that's why I said the new targets was really the only issue that he had last year. And so when we're talking about this year and the projections for this year, you're talking about they're projecting them to take a
Got to
step back
think
first
about it.
off on yards.
This
Oh, no, 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 let me explain why. They expected them to take a step back on yards. Okay, last year he threw a 5,000 plus because he kind of wanted to prove a point. Tyreek Hill was talking trash last offseason when he went to the Dolphins. Okay, so this year they got him for 4,702 yards projected. They got him for 39 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, um, 31 sacks. Of course, he's the number one ranked quarterback. Points, he's they say he's worth like 371 points, fantasy points this year. Okay, but the thing that everybody needs to understand is that the success of Patrick Mahomes this year is not just on his own. It's on what Isaiah Pacheco can do this year. It's on what that running back can do. Because with Kadarius Toney at wide receiver, with Sky Moore, and who's only in his second year in the NFL, and Pacheco in his second year in the NFL, then you also have Kadarius Toney, who's in like his fourth year in the NFL at the University of Florida. Okay, yeah, you have a very young wide receiving group. Okay, not a group that is like the group he's used to having. He still has Kelsey, but you got a young group,
that's all he
and
needs.
he
Yeah.
he got hold up. I know because he's the Magic Johnson of the NFL. He can make it happen with anybody and everybody out there. He gonna make everybody look good. That's why I know I have the utmost faith in the young man. Not saying I doubt him, but I'm saying it is going to be an undertaking this year because he's gonna have to bring along all these young boys.
So what about Juju? Juju ain't over there no more.
Juju is over in New England now, man. Juju signed with the Patriots. They got Juju, they got Kayvon or Kayshawn Butte, and they about to sign D Hop because that's the only team looking to sign him. Yeah, update y'all. I'm sorry, I had to give y'all that. Only team as far as everything that all my sources are saying at this current point in time and juncture that is interested in DeAndre Hopkins fully. I mean, when I say fully, I mean offering contract that he is actually looking at. All right, not like just offering him a contract. Something that is serious right now is the New England Patriots. Just like another update for y'all, got to give it to you. Dalvin Cook has declined a visit with the Miami Dolphins. If you did not know. And none of that has anything to do with what came here to talk about, but that is breaking news that if you did not know, maybe you should. You know,
Damn.
I try to give it to you everything I can give you when I get on here with you guys. I know everybody is not fully brought up to speed with a lot of the stuff that I know. So I try to share the knowledge. That's what we do here on Everything in Three Media.
Game day with Trey.
Facts. All right, y'all. So we didn't gave it to you, man. I really can't give you no more than what I done gave you outside of asking Face if he disagrees about Patrick Mahomes, but you already heard what he said.
The man a champion right now. How you gonna dispute facts? He played and he played into it ain't like he just ended up there. I got to get a man his props. Salute to you till they knock you off. Right now, he been the best. He been the best quarterback. So
Not just been the best, man. You've been battling the goat for a while, man. You've been battling one of the goats for a while, man. You went head toe to toe, head to head with
ain't gonna
Tom
lie, he
Brady.
slaughtered the goat. Ain't
You-
gonna lie, he slaughtered the goat.
Hey, nah, the GOAT slaughtered him. He ain't beating the GOAT no Super Bowl, and he ain't beat the GOAT no playoff.
Okay, yeah.
That's where it
That,
matter at.
that, that, that was just a regular game. Then I was
Yeah,
thinking about the last game.
nah, yeah. Any regular game, yeah. Regular season game, yeah. He'll beat him there. But when the money on the line, when you got to put your foot to the line and you got to knuckle up, man.
TB12.
TB12, man. TB12, dog.
TB12,
TB12, dog. You know what I'm saying? But yo, this has been a great podcast. I hope y'all really enjoyed it. Okay. Once again, all this information and all these analytics and everything we're giving you, it's not just only for entertainment and for your enjoyable possibilities, but this is so that you can understand the game, man. We're trying to let you understand who is coming out this year and how they're coming out this year, exactly how the game is going to go this year, so that you can make intelligent decisions as you decide what games you want to watch, maybe even, you know, who you want to
bet
draft
on.
in the fantasy and what you want
Bet
to bet
on. Get
on,
your money. Get your money up.
man.
That's what we trying to help you do. Get your money right.
Oh, listen, and if y'all don't know, when the regular season come around, man, pay attention to these picks. Okay, last year I
Bro,
picked, I'll post it in a couple days, but last year I picked 78% on the season, money line. You know what I mean? I'm like that. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm like that. Okay, anybody who know me, who's already subscribed, y'all all know. I hope you would say in the comments, and then let them know that, yeah, he is speaking facts. The young man does know the game, and he does understand the numbers, and he can read them spreads. So, y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe. This Trey from Game Day with Trey. That's my dog Face, and we out, man. Peace.